Okay, so a little bit of a discussion slash, I guess you could call it rant video that is classic, famous, or infamous on the chrisjaammm channel, however you look at my channel or me. But I was kind of thinking about this and talking about it briefly on my live stream last night. If you missed that, go check it out. Clip it up if you want to. There's a lot of odd, weird, funny, insightful moments in that, so it's a pretty fun live. But with this topic, in terms of how Hasbro has handled the Transformers brand over the years, and I've made videos kind of talking about this too, but I kind of want to make more of a dedicated video, especially where we're at right now in 2025 with the franchise. I'm thinking about certain things, like there's so many different routes they could go with in these stories and characters that I feel like they haven't even reached the full potential of stuff that they already have done. Like, I'm looking at Unicron Trilogy, Transformers Prime, Aligned Continuity, Beast Wars, G1, like that universe. The G1 universe even has so much untapped potential with so many characters that really have never gotten the proper shine in stories or characterization. And, you know, comics. I feel like with the comic books, they're really good right now with Skybound, but they're using the same old characters. I'm pretty sure there's literally thousands of characters you could pick from with Transformers at this point. And we're just, like, Hasbro and these companies taking care of the media, the toys, the stories. They're just using the same characters over and over again because of this whole idea of being scared to go outside the comfort zone of A and B list characters in case of it flops or whatever. And they want to focus on A-list characters to make sure that it does good numbers, which I understand that to a degree. But at the same time, it's not like all the recent projects the last 10 years in terms of media have been absolute bangers because you're using A and B list characters as your main characters for that cartoon or comic. Like, just look at Cyberverse, look at Earthspark. Cyberworld, I mean, there really doesn't seem to be too much hype over that, and that comes out in like less than 2 months. RAD 2015, nobody really cares about that show anymore. That was 10 years ago. You look at the War for Cybertron trilogy, that was handled horribly, and those are all A and B list characters. You look at the Machinima series back in Prime Wars, that was terrible, and that was all A, B list characters. If you look at the history of what really worked, I mean, Beast Wars, like, that is still considered a main pinnacle era for Transformers, not only in terms of just sales, merchandise, the toys, everything, but the show and story as a whole. You look at those characters, you look at everything that went on with Beast Wars, those are all made-up characters that didn't exist beforehand with G1 back then. And people love those characters nowadays. People want updates of those figures so bad 30 years later, basically. And you go back in time to the context of when Beast Wars first came out, it's like looking at freaking Cyberverse Thunder Howl for the first time, you know? And people love those characters outside of, you know, the hardcore G1 fan base that was totally against it at the time and rioting online and on the forums back in the 90s and the early 2000s, which I'm sure since then a lot of those dudes have been converted to the Beast Wars side, because even people who don't like Beast Wars, they give it a few years and it kind of marinates with them and they actually start to like it and it grows on them. I've talked to a lot of people that have had that thought process and that's happened to them. So, speaking from experience a little bit, vicariously through people, I just feel like we need more of that back in Transformers. Not like copying Beast Wars or trying to recreate its magic, but taking something new, something that hasn't been tapped into with the Transformers mythos and characters yet, and making it its own thing when it's well-written, well-done animation. I mean, at the time, 3D animated cartoons, that was a rarity. That in itself is what made the show so amazing and popular back then was the choice of animation. Like, I'm pretty sure that was the first 3D animated cartoon that aired on television at the time. I may be wrong on that. It may have been one of the first, but not the first. I can't remember the exact detail and piece of info on that, but I do remember it was something along those lines. And you look at all that, and basically every era since before R80 2015, there's been something kind of like groundbreaking that's happened with each era of Transformers or cartoon or piece of media that we just don't get since, I'd say, Transformers Prime ended. Like, it's just been the same copy and paste formula since R80 2015. They're using pretty much the same animation with slight tweaks, nothing special since Prime ended. They're using very similar story beats, same lore, mythos, same characters. Things change here and there with characterization and story beats, but it's generally the same thing. And even when they do change things, it's not a good one or it's not an interesting one that keeps people locked in and actually liking the cartoon. Unlike Beast Wars or Animated or even Prime or even Unicron Trilogy, as a matter of fact. I don't even think UT is that great of a collection of cartoons. I still think it's good, but, in the grand scheme of things, it's not like one of the best. It's very kiddie, it's kind of outdated, very 2000s. But even with then, you could see the vision, you could see what they were going for. They were really trying with new ideas back then. They really wanted stuff to sell and do well to a point where you don't see that nowadays with modern Hasbro product for Transformers and media. And it's become really sad to see. Like Cyberworld that's coming out in, I think, July, that is going to be, like a 5-minute YouTube series. It's not even going to be on any TV station. So I honestly don't know what to make of that info. And I don't know how good this cartoon is going to do. I personally think there's a good chance it's going to bomb. It could do well. I mean, this is like the first time they're doing a YouTube exclusive only series. I mean, they did uploads with Cyberverse and Earthspark, but it was also on TV airings, and you're not getting it this time around with Cyberworld. And just judging by the figures and everything, that it just doesn't look like a good sign to me. Like, the figures just look like copy and paste from Earthspark, Cyberverse, R80 2015, and we all know how much those toys have clogged the shelves and not sold well at all in the last 10 years, and they just keep making them for whatever reason. I guess because it's so cheap to make figures like that nowadays that even if they don't sell well, Hasbro still makes money. I mean, that's what I'm guessing. I don't know for sure. I don't have insider knowledge on that stuff, but it just seems like they don't really put the effort into that they used to with the merchandise for the figures. And I know I'm not the only one out there that thinks this with newer media that's dropped since R80 2015, but going forward, I just think Hasbro needs to tap into new and original characters and story beats that actually work for the franchise. I'm not saying just do anything, because that doesn't work either. You just don't want to throw things at the wall and see what sticks. Like, you're just going to end the franchise faster doing it that way. And even with Bayverse, as much as Age of Extinction and The Last Knight to me really aren't that great of Transformers movies, with the first three, that took over the world. That was a pop culture phenomenon, and it still is till this day. People love those movies. They're obsessed with it. That's like the main part of the fan base still, even I'd say till this day, is those first couple Bayverse movies. And you don't see that a lot nowadays with other pieces of media and even the newer movies. Like Rise of the Beasts, Bumblebee, Transformers 1. Sure, they have cult followings, but it's not like a big, huge fan base like those first 3 or maybe even 4 Bayverse movies. So, I don't know, I just feel like if Hasbro does the things I've listed in this video that have worked previously, that have made certain areas of Transformers really big, popular, and actually successful, and maybe tweak it for modern times, however they see fit, that would actually be good and work within the Transformers universe, I think we have the makings for something that's actually successful and actually good quality Transformers media and toys. But I don't know. I've talked about this before on the channel, and it just seems like kind of a broken record, but I just want to talk about it every so often because it's something that needs to be brought up. It needs to be said online, so maybe it like catches on more, and Hasbro sees this and actually locks in and makes something good. But who knows at this point? Yeah, guys, let me know. Let me know down in the comments below. How do y'all feel about the current state of Transformers and how Hasbro has been utilizing the franchise? Do you think it has been good lately, the last like 10 years, or do you not? All my social medias are linked down below. And yeah, thank you all for watching this video. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye!